Thanks, Brian. Now, there's quite a lot going on around TCU athletics, so hang tight because I've got you covered with this week's sports report. And before we dive into this week's sports, I wanted to reflect on this past weekend with having College Game Day in town, what a time it was for TCU and our community as a whole. So thanks to all you Frog fans who came out to support and also got to see Lee Corso pick his 300th pick. And what do you say? He picked the Horned Frogs. Now, to start off this week's sports, women's soccer went on the road to take on Texas on Friday and came away with a 1-1 tie. Coach Bell was pleased with the team's performance, and the Frogs will return home tomorrow night to face Oklahoma at 7 p.m. Now, women's volleyball wrapped up their 2-game homestand 1-1 in Big 12 play. The Horned Frogs battled to victory over Kansas State, scoring a 4-set win. Anna Walsh led the team with a season-high 18 kills, and TCU recorded a season-high 12 blocks in the match as a team, with 7 of those 12 coming from Sarah Swanson. Now, unfortunately, TCU fell to Texas on Sunday, but up next, the Frogs hit the road to take on Texas State and Texas Tech before returning home to take on Oklahoma here at the Rickle. After a week off, men's cross country is back in action and hit the road to San Antonio. The team finished second with junior Dylan Brookmeyer first across the finish line for the Horned Frogs. The men's team will race next at the Big 12 Championships October 28th in Round Rock. Now, women's cross country placed 19th in a field of high-level competition at Notre Dame. Brentley Gertzen finished 20th overall and third among Big 12 runners, finishing the 5,000 meters in her personal best, 16:48.9. Now, moving on to men's golf, they finished 9th at the Elite Nike Collegiate Invitational. Stefano Mazzoli led the Horned Frogs and finished with a 4-under 209, earning him a tie for 18th place in the TCU Male Athlete of the Week honors. Meanwhile, for women's golf, Emma Martin and Annika Clark carded a 3-under par 69s as the Horned Frogs finished tied for 13th overall at the Golf Week Conference Challenge in Vail, Colorado. Now, moving on, Equestrian improved to 2-1 after their dual meet in Delaware, defeating Delaware State and UT Martin. Now, the Frogs are back on the saddle at home on October 20th when they face the Georgia Bulldogs. The Horned Frogs men and women's swim team won their season opener against UT Permian Basin, then went on the road to the FIU Fall Classic Invitational, where the men finished 4th and the women finished 6th overall. Now, the program has a brand new energy surrounding it with their new head coach, Sam Bush, who I sat down with earlier this week. I'm joined now by quite a new face around TCU, welcoming the new head swim and diving coach Bush. Welcome to TCU. How's it been so far?
It's been good. It's been a whirlwind. Definitely kind of learning on the fly, but it's been really awesome. You know, the community of Fort Worth and TCU has been really welcoming to me and my staff, and that really means a lot.
For the fans who aren't familiar, you come from quite the coaching tree family and quite the big name around swimming. Your dad was a longtime coach at Arizona, coached with the national team. Your brother, Augie, also coaching. You coached underneath your dad with your brother. Yeah. What have you learned from them throughout your whole coaching journey?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate to learn from a lot of great guys, and those guys include my own family. So they've taught me really, you know, just you know, all the nuances of the sport. I think, you know, it's not just the X's and O's necessarily, or it's about leading as well. So that's what I've always wanted to do. I wanted to be a head coach, and I think the stops that I was at, whether it was with my brother or not, I think prepared me for the opportunity here at TCU. So it's always fun getting a chance to, you know, to kind of ask questions and get answers from them, because they're my family, so they're not going to sugarcoat anything, whether you know, whether I like it or not.
From an early age, you grew up around the pool with your dad. Did you always know that you wanted to be a coach, or was that something you kind of fell into, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to be a coach until I was pretty much graduated from college, for better or worse. So that's, you know, I knew sports was in my bloodline. I wanted to be a coach, but I was a baseball player at Arizona before I got into coaching swimming. So kind of halfway through my college career, when I was done with baseball, I just wanted to hang around the pool deck, you know, and I'd had nothing better to do. And it really kind of one thing led to another, and I started volunteering with the college team and coaching the club team that was there too. So just I didn't really realize at the time that I was kind of grooming myself to be a swim coach, and you know, it wasn't any pressure from my family either. It just kind of, that was my own decision on my own accord, and kind of one thing led to another, and here I am today in Fort Worth.
Well, now you're here running your own program at TCU. So how have you kind of started kicking in your system into them?
Yeah, well, I think the name of the game is energy. And that's something that it's kind of always been synonymous with me. Maybe it's because I'm a younger guy, but I think, you know, between that, I think there's a sense of just knowing what the athletes are going through right now, because I am such a young coach, and I'm not that far removed from college. You know, I know it's a daily grind being a student athlete. It's a full-time job. So I think, you know, there's a sense of just understanding what they're going through, but also, you know, it's holding them accountable.
And no doubt, I think there's a certain energy surrounding TCU in this campus, in this town. So far, your time here in Fort Worth, what does the Frog family, how have they welcomed you in?
Oh man, it's been great. I mean, look no further than our athletic director. He provides such a fun environment, but it's a competitive environment, and that's what I think. You know, one of the other things about this program that I want to instill is just daily competition. I don't care what it is, whether you're swimming or in the weight room, doing dry lands. You know, you want to do the best you can do, because that elevates everybody, you know, everybody's game around you. You know, so I think, you know, breeding competition within the program, I think that swells so that you can really, you know, kind of take a step further when it comes to competing against other universities.
Well, this brand new energy around the swimming and diving team, I know the Frog family is excited to see how this plays out, so thank you so much for joining me, Coach. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Now stay tuned, Horned Frogs. There's more to come here on Horned Frogs Nation as Brian Estridge sits down with Coach Patterson and an outstanding player who's been making a difference for this undefeated football team.